A very good morning to all our Sports Today family members, and we are gearing up for the third T20I between India and Australia that will be played today at Barsapara in Guwahati. Firstly, if you look at the schedule, how it has been, 2 day gap from Vizag to Thiruvananthapuram, which is relatively short in distance, but only a 1 day gap from Thiruvananthapuram to Barsapara, which is about a good 3,000, 4,000 kilometers away. Beat that. So, after Thiruvananthapuram, you're going to Barsapara. Barsapara, then you're headed to Raipur and then to Bengaluru. That's the culmination of your Indian home summer at this point in time. But the India versus Australia series has drawn a lot of criticism, and one former Australia skipper has really criticized the scheduling of this T20I series, Mark Taylor. Mark Taylor has criticized the India versus Australia T20I series, stating that after the end of the World Cup, 4 days after the end of the World Cup, did it really make sense to organize this T20I series? What is the relevance? What is the significance of this T20I series? That is the thing that he's asked. You're in the hangover of a tournament that has taken a lot out of players. They have given it their all every single time. But you organize a 5 match T20I series after the end of a 1.5 month long World Cup, and that too immediately 4 days after. If you have to look at Mark Taylor's criticism, he's partly right. If you look at Australia's schedule that they have been in India in March for 3 ODIs that they won 2-1. IPL, most of the Australian players were there. Then they were in England for 2 months. And then they headed back to India in October to prepare for the ODI World Cup. 3 ODIs, they lost that 2-1. They won the World Cup. So if you look at it, from March to May, September to November, they have been in India. Most of the players rightfully have backed out of it because, yes, they couldn't take a toll on the scheduling. Cameron Green, who's recently been traded to RCB, he admitted that the entire schedule ever since May, ever since if you look at it, March, had left him cooked. Such has been the huge, arduous and rigorous touring that Australia have had that many players are often expressed, why do you have to organize this kind of a series? For many Indian fans also, does the series make a lot of relevance? Agreed. It is for the build-up to the T20 World Cup in June, July. Agreed. You're only going to play 9 T20Is after this. Now this three against South Africa, 3 against Afghanistan. That makes it 9 T20Is in total. But apart from that, you're not going to play T20Is till March. After that, you're going to play the IPL. Does it really make sense to organize this kind of a series just immediately after the end of the World Cup? Sure, India have taken a 2-0 lead in the series. But just 4 days after the World Cup doesn't make sense at this point. It is just bilateral FTP commitments. That is the only way you can look at it. These are just bilateral FTP commitments. Cricketing value, cricketing merit, maybe it is in the backdrop. There is absolutely no cricketing merit or cricketing backdrop. 4 days after the end of a World Cup, that to an ODI World Cup, which is even more rigorous in that sense. So Australia, if you look at it, the criticism that is coming from a lot of players. So it is a really catch-22 situation. I mean, India may very well go on win the series final, 4-1 or whatever it is. But it seems like a hollow win because even India needs time to recover. Most of the players have taken a 1-month break. The reports are stating that Kohli and Rohit might not even feature in the white ball series. They just want to play the test matches that will be held in December end. And that too, India will be hoping to win that, considering they are the only team that has not won a series in South Africa. India are the only team at this point in time. That's the only nation where they are hoping to win a test series and complete the set. So, this T20I series, does it have any kind of relevance? One wonders, majority of them wonder maybe it is not having any kind of relevance whatsoever. And what two ICC events in the past have shown us, World T20 of 2021, World T20 of 2022, as well as the ICC ODI World Cup. Do not go into bilateral trends. Do not ever go into bilateral trends. India may very well win all 11 T20Is. But India winning a bilateral series was never in doubt. Never. Even before the World Cup, even after the World Cup, in the interim period, India winning bilateral series was never in doubt. It's only during major ICC events that India struggle and they freeze at that point in time. So, this series also, today India will be hoping to seal the series 3-0 and take an unassailable lead heading into Raipur and Bangalore. Now, the weather update in Barsapara is that it is absolutely clear, no chances of rain. Dew might play a part later on in the day because the temperature there is 29 and 17 at this point in time in Guwahati. It's getting colder down at the east. Here already it's colder. There is rain up in the north here, so that's why the east is also starting to get cooler. So in Barsapara, you may get to see dew, you may get to see some bit of things. So if the team wins the toss, they would want to bowl first. Because remember, the match starts at 7. Already you're well into twilight here. You're well into the night time at this point. The sun sets by 4:35 at that time. So that's why teams that win the toss will want to bowl first, and then chasing might become easier towards the fag end. So that is the situation that we have when you look at India versus Australia. Is this series really relevant? That is the question that we have to ask later on, even if India win the series final. Now, as far as other sports are concerned, you've got Barcelona, who would be hoping to seal a Champions League spot at this point in time. Because remember, they would want to be heading into the knockouts at this time. Champions League is resuming after a break, so now all action will be on that itself. Then, if you look at all the other sports, Formula One has ended, tennis has ended, and most likely, if you look at it, even for India, badminton's also ended because Satvik Sairaj and Canadian Chirag Shetty, despite coming a close second in Shenzhen, they will not be able to make it to the year-ending World Tour finals. They will not be able to make it because they didn't acquire enough number of points for qualification. That's the way we are looking at it. So today, India versus Australia, the third T20I. Will India seal the series? Most likely, yes. What will be the team changes? I think India will not go with that many team changes. Australia, will they get back some of the other World Cup winning stars in this? It remains to be seen now. Travis Head, maybe he can come in. Dropping Behrendorff yesterday in the game in Thiruvananthapuram proved to be a blunder because he would have had some bit of assistance from this wicket, not the spinners. So that's why dropping Behrendorff was a big, big blow indeed for Australia. So they'll want to rectify that today in Barsapara. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget, we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Bye-bye.